Emma hadn't planned to think about her gut, not consciously, at least. Her focus had been on balancing hormones, regaining energy, calming her mood, and getting her sleep back. And she had made real progress, but what surprised her wasn't just that she felt better emotionally, it was how physically light she felt. Her digestion had changed. Without even trying to fix it, something had shifted. The bloating that used to swell her belly after dinner? Gone. The unpredictable trips to the bathroom? More regular. That constant heaviness she carried around her waist? It had softened. Even her skin looked clearer, calmer. She hadn't taken probiotics. She hadn't followed a special gut cleanse protocol. All she'd done was eat with care in the right order. And now her body was whispering something new. Thank you for listening. Emma had spent years ignoring her gut. It had always been noisy, reactive, sensitive, quick to rebel when life got stressful. But now that she was finally paying attention, she realized her gut had been speaking to her all along. When she was anxious, it tensed. When she was overwhelmed, it bloated. When she rushed through meals, it slowed down or sped up in protest. It wasn't broken, it was trying to keep up with her. But like her hormones, it needed rhythm and relief. That week, Emma began to explore what it meant to eat for digestion, not just with clean food, but with conscious order, timing, and intention. She realized her digestion had always reflected her inner world. And now that her inner world was calmer, her gut could do what it was made to do. Break down, absorb, eliminate, and protect. In a podcast she listened to during a walk, the host said something that made her stop and rewind. If your digestion is off, your healing is stalled. Because every system, hormonal, immune, mental, starts in the gut. That hit deep. Emma paused her walk, closed her eyes, and whispered, "Okay, body, I'm ready to support you where it all begins." That night, she lit a candle, made a simple soup of lentils and carrots, and sat down to eat with slow, intentional breaths. No distractions, no multitasking, no rushing. She chewed longer, put her fork down between bites. Let her belly expand, and when she finished, she felt not just nourished, but settled. It was a feeling she hadn't had in years. The gut always knows, and now Emma was learning to listen back. Part 1: Why digestive health impacts your whole body. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon when Emma found herself curled up on the couch, listening to a podcast about gut health, something she once thought only mattered if you had IBS or food allergies. But now, everything felt different. Her body was speaking in softer tones these days, and she was ready to hear the deeper message. Your gut is not just where food gets digested, the host said. It's where nutrients become energy, where hormones are recycled, where 70% of your immune system lives. It's even where your thoughts and moods begin. Emma sat up a little straighter. That last line echoed inside her. Where your thoughts and moods begin. She had always thought her anxiety, her brain fog, her low moods were caused by stress or hormones. But what if they were starting lower in her belly? A new way of seeing her body. Later that evening, she pulled out her notebook and drew a simple sketch. Her brain, her belly, and a line connecting the two. She labeled it the gut-brain axis, something she had just learned about. The gut and brain, it turns out, talk constantly. Not with words, but with neurotransmitters and nerve signals, especially through something called the vagus nerve, a long messenger that runs from the base of the brain all the way to the intestines. That connection is why, when you're nervous, your stomach churns. When you're stressed, digestion slows or stops. When you eat poorly for weeks, your mood drops and anxiety creeps in. The gut was no longer just a tube through which food passed. It was a center of intelligence. A source of signals, a second brain. Emma underlined that. Serotonin doesn't just live in the brain. The more she learned, the more amazed she became. Did you know, the podcast explained that around 90% of your body's serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut? Emma didn't, and that blew her mind. No wonder her anxiety had lessened lately. Her gut, through better meals and less chaos, was finally making the chemicals she needed to feel balanced. The gut wasn't just responding to her mood, it was creating it. Immunity begins in the gut. A few days later, while waiting in line at the local co-op, Emma picked up a book titled Healthy Gut, Healthy You. She read the first chapter standing there, and another piece clicked into place. Your gut is your first immune organ. If your gut lining is inflamed, your immune system goes on high alert. That means more inflammation, more sensitivity, more hormonal chaos. Emma remembered how she used to get sick all the time when she was stressed and how, lately, she hadn't even caught the seasonal cold. Could it be that by calming her eating rhythm, by simply chewing her food and eating in order, she had unknowingly cooled down her inflammation? Could that be the reason her skin wasn't breaking out anymore? Hormones and the gut, a two-way street. One afternoon, as she sipped her tea and flipped through notes, Emma stumbled upon something that made her heart beat faster. Your gut helps detox excess estrogen. She had been struggling with signs of estrogen dominance for years: heavy periods, mood swings, water retention. She thought it was all hormonal, but now she saw the connection. If her gut wasn't eliminating estrogen properly because of poor digestion or inflammation, then that estrogen could be reabsorbed, amplifying her symptoms. It wasn't just about hormones or digestion, it was about how they danced together. And when digestion was off rhythm, everything else was too. Absorption, the missing link, the final dot connected one morning over breakfast. Emma had made herself a beautiful, balanced plate: sautéed greens, poached egg, roasted pumpkin, and a sprinkle of seeds. But halfway through the meal, a new thought emerged. Even if I eat well, if I don't absorb it, does it really matter? That question led her back to her gut lining, specifically the tiny finger-like structures called villi inside her small intestine. These little absorbers were responsible for taking in vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. But when the gut was inflamed due to poor food order, processed foods, or constant snacking, they couldn't do their job properly. Emma realized her gut wasn't just a highway for food, it was the gateway to nourishment. Every bite she ate now had a second layer of meaning. That evening, Emma lit a candle and wrote in her journal, "I used to eat to be thin, then I ate to fix my hormones. But now I eat to support my gut because when my gut feels safe, I feel whole." She took a slow, deep breath. It's all connected. And it begins here, with what I choose and how I choose to eat it. Next up, Part 2, the role of food order in gut function and bloating. Emma had grown used to a certain discomfort. For years, she thought it was normal to feel bloated after eating. A tight waistline by evening, gas that made her unbutton her jeans at dinner, that heavy, distended feeling that crept in right when she needed to wind down. It wasn't painful, just exhausting, quietly draining, and she had tried everything: ginger tea, peppermint oil, cutting out dairy, going gluten-free for a while. Some things helped temporarily, but nothing lasted. Until, strangely, she stopped focusing on what she ate and started paying attention to how she ate. The simple shift that changed everything. It started unintentionally. One night, while rewatching her favorite documentary on the body's healing systems, she remembered something she'd read weeks earlier. Start every meal with fiber-rich vegetables. So she did, not as a rule, just as an experiment. She made a small salad before dinner, nothing fancy, just mixed greens, a few slices of cucumber, and a drizzle of olive oil. Then she waited a couple of minutes before moving on to the main dish: roasted chicken and a few spoonfuls of rice. And that night, something magical happened. No bloating, no heaviness, no tight jeans. It was so subtle, so unassuming, she almost missed it. But it was there a lightness in her gut, a sense of completion after the meal. So the next day, she tried again and again. And the results were the same. Digestion flowed, gas reduced, her belly felt calm. Why the order matters? Curious, Emma dug deeper. She found an article from a nutritionist explaining how the order in which we eat impacts digestion on a chemical level. When you eat fiber first, it forms a gentle, gel-like layer in your stomach and intestines. This slows down the absorption of sugar and starch, reducing glucose spikes and giving your digestive enzymes time to work properly. But it wasn't just about blood sugar. This slowed absorption also gave the small intestine and pancreas time to secrete just the right amounts of enzymes like amylase, lipase, and protease to break down the food efficiently rather than rushing through it. It also gave the gut-brain connection a chance to send the right signals. Food is here. Get ready, digest well. Food order and gut motility. Emma also learned that digestion isn't just about breaking food down, it's about moving it along. This wave-like motion, called peristalsis, needs rhythm too. When food hits the stomach all at once, especially heavy with carbs or sugar, it can delay this motion, causing sluggish digestion and fermentation, leading to bloating, gas, acid reflux, that heavy brick in the belly feeling. But when she started her meals with light, water-rich veggies like zucchini, leafy greens, or steamed carrots, her digestion moved more fluidly. It was like her gut was saying, "Thank you for the warm-up. I'm ready now." Protein and fat, the mid-layer that supports. Next, Emma began adding protein and healthy fats as the second layer of her meals. She'd read that proteins help trigger gastric acid and pepsin, both essential for breaking down amino acids and activating B12 absorption. Healthy fats like olive oil or avocado, meanwhile, help slow digestion in a good way, keeping her full, supporting gallbladder function, and easing inflammation in the gut lining. Together, they acted as a middle cushion between the vegetables and the final layer of her meals, starches and fruit, the last layer, and finally, she began saving her carbs like sweet potato, brown rice, or fruit for last. At first, this felt backward. Carbs were comfort food, the beginning. But something strange happened when she put them at the end of the meal. She felt satisfied with less, no sugar crash, no bloating, and surprisingly fewer cravings later. By the time she got to them, her stomach was already busy digesting fiber, protein, and fat. The carbs came in more gently, causing less fermentation and gas. Emma realized it wasn't about cutting carbs. It was about placing them in a better rhythm. Beyond food, how she ate also mattered. Emma noticed that how she ate, the pace, the presence also changed her digestion. When she sat down without screens, took 3 deep breaths before eating, chewed each bite slowly 2-3 times, put her fork down between bites, her bloating vanished almost entirely. These tiny habits didn't seem like much, but for her gut, they were acts of respect, moments of calm that gave her digestive system space to do its job properly. That night, Emma wrote in her journal, "Food order isn't just a strategy, it's a love language for the gut. And when I honor that language, my body softens and lets go." She ran her hand across her belly and smiled. No tightness, no fullness, just a quiet, grounded sense of ease. Next, part 3, gut healing foods and how to use them. Saturday morning, rain drizzled outside the window, soft and rhythmic like a lullaby. Emma stood barefoot in her kitchen, hands wrapped around a steaming mug of ginger tea. The house was quiet, her breath was slow. And in that silence, she felt something she hadn't felt in years, peace in her belly. No cramping, no tightness, no pressure. Her digestion had begun to change, not through drastic diets or harsh cleanses, but through presence, through rhythm, through care, and now she felt ready for the next step. Not just calming symptoms, but healing from the root, listening to her gut's needs. The day before, she had read something that stayed with her. When your gut is inflamed, it's like a scraped knee. You don't heal it by scrubbing it harder. You heal it by being gentle, consistent, and nourishing it with the right tools. That image stayed with her. She had spent years trying to fix her digestion, restricting foods, following trendy detoxes, overloading on fiber too quickly, but now she saw things differently. She didn't need to fight, she needed to feed. One bone broth, a warm hug from within. Emma had heard about bone broth before, but always thought of it as a health fad. Now, she understood its true power. She simmered a pot for hours, chicken bones, apple cider vinegar, ginger, garlic, onions, and carrots. The aroma filled her kitchen like something ancient and comforting. When she sipped it, she noticed it immediately. Her belly relaxed, her body warmed. Her hunger softened into readiness, not urgency. She learned that bone broth was rich in collagen, glutamine, and glycine amino acids that support the gut lining and reduce inflammation. It didn't fix everything in a day, but it felt like a gentle balm. And her body whispered, "Thank you." 2. Fermented foods, tiny soldiers of peace. Next, Emma explored fermented foods, a world she had always been curious about but never truly embraced. She started small, a spoonful of sauerkraut with her eggs, a few bites of kimchi with lunch, a glass of kefir on a calm afternoon, some miso stirred into warm soup. At first, it felt strange, tangy, sour, even funky, but after a few days, her digestion responded. Her belly felt more alive, as though a new team of friendly helpers had moved in. She learned that fermented foods contain probiotics, live bacteria that replenish and diversify the gut microbiome. And the more she gave them a place at her table, the more her gut felt supported, less reactive, more stable. 3. Prebiotic foods, the food for the good guys. Emma then discovered something just as important as probiotics. Prebiotics, the fiber-rich plant foods that feed the good bacteria already living in her gut. These included garlic and onions, leeks and asparagus, chicory root, green bananas, cooked and cooled potatoes, apples, especially with the skin, Jerusalem artichokes. She smiled, realizing that many of these foods were already in her kitchen. She just hadn't seen them as medicine before. Now, when she added sliced leeks to her soup or roasted garlic with her carrots, she imagined herself feeding not just herself, but her inner garden. 4. Colorful plants, nature's good medicine. Emma read that variety mattered as much as quality. Every plant brought a different type of fiber, a different polyphenol, a different antioxidant. She began eating the rainbow, purple cabbage, orange carrots, red beets, green kale, blueberries, yellow squash. Each meal became a celebration of color, a ritual of healing, a creative act. And with every bite, she noticed her skin glowed more. Her breath deepened, her cravings lessened. It was as if the more diversity she gave her gut, the more clarity she received in return. 5. Gentle digestive tonics. Finally, she embraced the small helpers. A slice of lemon in warm water before meals, a splash of apple cider vinegar in salad dressings, a few fennel seeds chewed after dinner, herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, licorice root. These weren't dramatic changes, but they supported digestion by waking up her stomach acid, calming spasms, and gently easing food through the digestive tract. They were, in her words, like gut lullabies. Healing takes time, but you can taste it. Emma didn't expect miracles. Some days, she still felt a little gassy or off rhythm. Some meals didn't land perfectly, but overall, she noticed something bigger. She felt connected to her gut, not annoyed by it. It was no longer a source of frustration. It was a compass, a guide that let her know when things were aligned and when they weren't. That night, she wrote, "Healing my digestion didn't start with restriction. It started with care, with warmth, with respect. And that changed everything." She placed a hand on her belly and whispered, "We're in this together, I hear you now." And her gut, for once, was silent, not from discomfort, but from contentment. Next up, Part 4, a day of meals that soothe your digestive system. Emma walks through a full day of gut-friendly eating, from fiber-first breakfasts to fermented side dishes and calming evening soups. Each meal becomes a moment of care, rhythm, and healing from the inside out. The sun peeked through the linen curtains as Emma rolled out of bed. It was a crisp, quiet morning, the kind that felt like a blank page, waiting to be written on. She placed a hand over her belly, almost instinctively. "Let's move gently today," she whispered. Her digestion had been calm lately, not perfect, but more peaceful. She wanted to nourish that peace, not interrupt it. So she decided today would be a full day of gut-loving meals, intentional, soothing and deeply satisfying. Morning, waking up with warmth, 8 a.m. Emma started her day not with food, but with presence. She brewed a cup of warm lemon water with a pinch of grayed ginger. The warmth helped wake up her digestion gently, while the lemon and ginger stimulated her stomach acid, preparing her gut to receive food. After 15 minutes, she prepared breakfast menu, steamed spinach and zucchini with olive oil and lemon fiber first. A soft boiled egg and a slice of avocado protein plus healthy fat. A few slices of cold sweet potato resistant starch plus gut-soothing carbs. Chamomile tea, sipped slowly. She sat down at the table. No phone, no rush. She chewed slowly, pausing between bites. And by the end of the meal, she felt full but light nourished, not stuffed. This is what breakfast is supposed to feel like, she thought. Midday, feeding the fire, not the frenzy, 12:30 p.m. For lunch, Emma knew she needed something grounding but not heavy. The key was balance, and starting with fiber, always lunch menu. Mixed greens, shredded carrots, fennel, and a spoonful of sauerkraut raw fiber plus fermented food first. Grilled salmon with herbs and a spoon of hummus protein plus good fat. A small scoop of quinoa tossed with lemon zest and parsley slow carb last. She ate outside on the patio, letting the sunlight kiss her shoulders. She took deep breaths between bites, noticed the flavors, the crunch, the warmth, the colors, and after, no bloating, no crash. Just energy steady and grounded. Lunch used to leave me sluggish. She remembered, now it lifts me. Afternoon, gentle fuel, not a sugar spike, 3:30 p.m. She wasn't always hungry in the afternoon anymore, but today, her body asked for a little something. So she gave it what it needed, without guilt. Snack menu. A small bowl of chia pudding made with almond milk and cinnamon. A handful of blueberries, peppermint tea. The chia seeds were rich in soluble fiber, soothing for the gut and helpful for regularity. The blueberries brought antioxidants and gentle sweetness. The tea calmed everything down, no spikes, no crashes, just softness. Snack doesn't have to be a fix, it can be a kindness. Evening, winding down the belly and the mind. 6:30 p.m., dinner was Emma's favorite part of the day. Not because of the food alone, but because it marked the shift. From doing to being, from speed to stillness. She lit a candle, turned on soft instrumental music, and cooked slowly, each movement a meditation. Dinner menu, roasted carrots, fennel, and leeks with olive oil, warm fiber to start. Lentil and vegetable stew with turmeric and common gut healing plus easy to digest. A small piece of cooked, cooled rice resistant starch, optional carb last. Warm water with a splash of apple cider vinegar before the meal. She ate in silence, she chewed with reverence. And when she finished, she felt as though she had been fed on a deeper level. This is what restoration tastes like. Night, digesting in stillness. 9 p.m., no dessert, no snacks. Just a warm mug of fennel and chamomile tea, sipped slowly in her cozy reading nook. She placed her journal on her lap and wrote, "Today, I honored my gut from morning to night. I didn't chase healing, I moved with it." She smiled. Her belly wasn't flat like a magazine cover, but it was calm, content, and finally hers, what Emma had learned. Eating fiber first sets the digestive tone for every meal. Fermented foods are best in small, regular doses. Warm, cooked foods are easier on a sensitive gut than raw. Slow eating and chewing matter just as much as the food itself. Eating in rhythm is a form of self-trust, not control. Next, Part 5, Summary and closing the series with reflection. Emma reflects on her full journey, how eating in the right order not only transformed her hormones and digestion, but helped her reconnect with her body in the most human, healing way. Emma stood by the kitchen window, a cup of warm tea in her hand, watching the golden late afternoon sun stretch across the sky. The house was quiet, the day had been gentle, and her body felt different, not just lighter, not just less bloated, but connected, aligned. For the first time in years, She didn't feel like she was battling her own system. She felt like they were finally on the same team. From struggle to symbiosis, Emma had spent so much of her adult life trying to fix her body. Fix the weight, fix the fatigue, fix the bloating, fix the hormones, fix the cravings. She tried new supplements, new diets, new apps, each promised to be the answer. None truly were. What changed everything? Not a product, not a prescription, but a shift in perspective. She stopped trying to fix and started learning how to feed, support, and sync with her body. It began with a simple idea: eat in the right order. From that seed, a forest of healing grew. What she had reclaimed: hormonal balance through stable blood sugar and cortisol regulation. A calm gut free from chronic bloating and gas. Deeper sleep and more sustained energy throughout the day. Clarity of mind with less fog and emotional reactivity. Self-trust built meal by meal, breath by breath. She had once thought she needed more discipline. Now she knew she only needed more kindness, more consistency, and a willingness to listen. What the journey had taught her: your gut is not just a digestive machine, it's a communication center. It talks to your brain, your hormones, your immune system. It listens, it remembers, it reacts. Healing happens in rhythm. Not overnight, not through extremes, but through daily patterns. Warm meals, gentle chewing, a calm state of being. What you eat matters, but how and when you eat it matters just as much. Food isn't just fuel, it's a message. It tells your body whether it's safe or under threat. You don't have to be perfect to feel better. You just have to be present and patient and kind. That night, Emma sat down with her journal and opened to a blank page. She wrote across the top, "What my gut taught me." And then slowly, without overthinking, the words came. I am not broken. I am adaptable. I am sensitive, and that is not a weakness. I don't need to punish my body into balance. I need to partner with it. I don't have to control everything. I only have to listen and respond with care. She paused, then added, "My rhythm is my healing, one meal at a time," closing the series, but not the journey. With this final chapter, Emma had come full circle. From a woman stuck in cycles of fatigue and frustration, she had become someone who knew how to support her own body, gently, powerfully, intuitively. And even though this was the end of her eat in the right order journey, it was only the beginning of a lifelong conversation with her gut, with her hormones, and most importantly, with herself. To you, the viewer, maybe you've seen yourself in Emma's story. Maybe you've struggled with the same symptoms: bloating, brain fog, mood swings, fatigue. And maybe you've been told it's normal, or that it's just aging, or that you need more willpower. We're here to tell you, you are not broken. You are just out of rhythm, and the most healing thing you can do is to begin again with a breath, with a bite, with a new way of feeding your body. So here's your invitation. Eat with order, eat with care, eat with presence, and watch your body slowly but surely come back to life. Thank you for joining us in the Eat in the Right Order series. If these episodes have supported you, inspired you, or made you feel seen, please like, comment, and share your own story below. And stay tuned for what's next. We're not done. We're just getting started.